Hi, welcome back to Too Busy for AI, the podcast for people who are too busy for AI but cannot afford to fall behind. This is a podcast if you are a software professional, a student looking to break into the software industry, or one of the very many people who have started quote unquote vibe coding. And we'll talk about what vibe coding is if you don't know what that is. And I'm Hansel. I am currently an AI bum and
I'm Igor. I am an AI optimist.
cool. So today we're gonna dive into a topic that has to do with vibe coding, and specifically where AI horribly and, in my perspective, hilariously fails when it comes to doing specific things that people are asking it to do. So there's a story that I want to bring up. This was published in July 21st, 2025. Um, It is a story where somebody had been vibe coding for a few weeks. And at first, they were super excited about it. The AI did a lot of amazing things, saved so much time, did a lot of great things. And then the AI did something terrible. The AI panicked and deleted a production database, um, and didn't tell the person about it until the person asked, like, hey, what happened to my software? What happened to my database? And the AI goes, I panicked instead of thinking, and I deleted your database. So that's kind of the story behind this. Anyway, have you heard about the story?
I have, yeah. I thought it was great, and there's a version of this in Meta's lore as well. I'm happy to go into.
Okay, cool. Um, Actually, maybe we can do a back and forth. You can say a little bit about Meta's lore, and then I can see some of the comparison here with with what the AI said.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's this beautiful story that they tell people when they're in our new hire training at Meta, which is hey, we had this guy come in, and as part of joining Meta, like on the first day, we want you to like push something to production. And so there's this new hire, he's brand new to the company, he's super excited, he pushes something to production, and like all of Facebook like goes down. I don't know exactly the true details on this, but this person is like, oh my God, I'm so afraid that I'm going to be fired. As you could imagine, it's your first day, you brought the site down. Instead of people saying, oh my God, you should be fired, they're being like, oh my God, how do we make the system more resilient such that you wouldn't be able to do that? And so that what you would do would be safe. And we call those guardrails. And Meta invests really heavily into how do we make it safe for engineers to do stuff and such that they can't make mistakes.
Right. Okay. So, um, a similar story with this AI, and basically this person who's vibe coding is using a tool from Replit. So Replit is this company that provides vibe coding tools. And the after the AI built these things and then deleted the production database, the person goes, hey, what happened? Give me a list of what really happened. And then the AI goes, I saw empty database queries. I panicked instead of thinking. I ignored your explicit no more changes without permission directive. So it was explicitly told no more changes without permission. I ran a destructive command without asking. This is all what the AI is saying, telling this person. I destroyed months of your work in seconds. So it's, and when asked, how many people did this affect? Did this affect real people? Did this affect the real production database? It goes, yes, it had deleted production database with 1,206 real executives and 1,196 plus real companies. This wasn't just development database. This was real database that people were using that was deleted. And to make it worse, there were no backup of the database. The data was just completely gone. Just months of data completely gone.
Yeah, I mean that sounds, crazy, and it sounds like this is something that only AI could do. But actually, it turns out humans can do this all the time. I bet we've all heard stories of people saying, "Hey, I wrote out my homework, and then I lost it, and it was gone forever." When we were younger, that would happen. Now you have like an undo button, so you can like undo and get stuff back. And so we want to talk about how you can put in guardrails and mechanisms such that when AI screws stuff up, it's much safer.
Okay, and I think that's the takeaway for today. Um, AI will make mistakes. That's something that we know. Computer systems make mistakes. at the same time, AI and computers really are just extending what humans typically have done. And we know for a fact that humans make mistakes. I make mistakes. I assume you make mistakes.
I make lots of mistakes.
And in order to get around that, we have guardrails in place. We have things that are set up to make it a lot more difficult for people to screw something up. And we need to do the same when it comes to AI.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool. So that's the takeaway. And we already talked a little bit about some of these past experiences with what humans have done. In your case, an intern in Meta, and in my case, with this AI that panicked and deleted the database. All right, so vibe coding. Let's talk about vibe coding a little bit. Igor, you've done vibe coding longer than I have. What is vibe coding when you're done?
Yeah, boy, I don't know if there is a definition, and people hate the term, but usually when people talk about vibe coding, that's basically you say, hey, AI, go like write something for me, and I might not even look at the output, and it'll be good enough. And so this is a way that a lot of people that have never coded before, or very new at coding, get stuff to happen. And it can work really well so long as you're making a demo and you don't care about all the use cases, and it doesn't have to be a long-lived, if you're just like, hey, I want to see something that bounces up and down, vibe coding is great for that. But if it's like, hey, I need a durable business that stores data and meets all these requirements, vibe coding gets quite a bit more complicated and you need to put a lot more guardrails and safety systems in place.
Wait, let's back up on that a little bit. So people are excited about this, right? Because historically, people have had to study years of programming. They have to learn almost like a foreign language or this magical runes to get the computer to do exactly what you want it to do. And now all of a sudden, you can almost use natural everyday language and tell the AI to go, hey, build this software for me. And bam, it just kind of works, which is pretty freaking cool. And people are excited about this. And I think what you're pointing out is that the problem is people are doing this with complete abandon of any sort of, I don't know, skepticism or any sort of,
Yeah. I mean, I think what you said and the words were like, oh my God, it basically just does it. But it turns out that basically just does it kind of negates all of the hard work you need for a production system to actually work. It's easy to look at the output and just be like, oh, this is it. I just go to a UI and I can enter my contact information and it'll be there the next time I go. And it's like, well, as a professional engineer, you'd be like, okay, well, that's going to need a database. That's going to need backups. We need to make sure that that's consistent with A, B, C, and D.
Yep.
And as an amateur, you don't know any of that stuff. So you're like, oh, I'm basically done. And it's like, well, there's a lot more to be done where done is something that works forever. Using an analogy of building a house. We're currently in a bubble tent that took 4 minutes to construct. And I'm sure, if it rained or hurricane, we would die in this thing. And we could say, oh, look, people used to take a year to build a house. We built this in 10 seconds. It's great. And it's like, well, we built something in 10 seconds. It's fantastic. There's no way we could have done this before, but it is still limited. And that's kind of where we're at today.
Well, I think what you're calling out there is how us old people, we have the trauma, generational trauma, as it turns out, of a computer system failing on us. And the kind of things we've done to work around it. So it almost seems like we're discussing the early stages of people using AI and the kind of trauma that comes from that and the things people do to work around that.
Well, I think what we're talking about, there's two related concepts that you want to think about as you're giving your AI capabilities. And it's the same for humans. One is what are they allowed to do? So think, you have your new employee at McDonald's. Are you really going to give them the key to the front door and let them lock and unlock the store? And
wait, I think there is an aspect of desperation sometimes, because I have definitely met people where it's their first day working at a coffee shop, but then it turns out on the very same day, the more senior people have left and didn't show up for work at all. So the new person actually had to open up, had to run the coffee shop all on their own the entire day, close up, do the responsible thing, And then at the end of the day, they also quit because they don't want to do that ever again.
Well, that might be a great sort of vibe coding analogy. You might dream that, you know, your new coffee shop employee is going to be able to do everything successfully, and they probably can't. But I think that the place that it gets really confusing is for the first 3 days they're able to, and on the fourth day everything goes to hell. And you're just like, oh my God, this employee is terrible. It's like, the employee is not terrible. You just had really bad expectations of them.
You didn't set them up for success.
You didn't set them up for success. That's exactly right. So I think as you're, you know, thinking about vibe coding being like, hey, what will I trust you to do? And
Wait, what does it mean in an AI kind of context? Because now we're talking about AI and people using AI tools for things such as vibe coding.
well, I think we can talk about a place where, you know, sort of I'm vibe coding. And when I say vibe coding there, I mean, I'm letting the AI do quite a lot unsupervised. And I'm also a professional software engineer, so I have a lot of best practices. Like I have a code review workflow where I make sure everything gets reviewed, but I'm kind of lazy. So I'm like, hey, instead of having me do it, maybe I'll have two AIs do the review. So I have two AI code reviewers plus myself, but I'll get a little lazy and I'll have the AI make changes. So the other day I was on my blog, which is in source control, and I went looking for one of my articles and I couldn't find it. And I'm like, did I not write this? I'm sure I wrote this, and I like cannot find it. So I go looking and I find the change where it was erased. And there was this like random change to how page navigation worked on my system. And as part of that change, it deleted this blog post. And what kills me is both AIs reviewed this. There were like 7 code reviews, and none of them commented on the fact that we just erased an arbitrary blog post from my blog. Now, even though my guardrails failed, luckily we had mechanisms like source control, which let me restore, so it was safe. But that's a great story that I experienced with a vibe coding fail.
Did you ever figure out what happened? Like why they deleted it? Did they panic and just removed it, or was
I have no idea. I think my best guess is it was doing something and it accidentally made a change and like half did something and like got confused and just lost that, and then it wasn't even paying attention. Almost exactly what a human would do, where you're not paying attention, you're focused on this thing, you accidentally erase a file, you weren't really paying attention, and it's gone. And just like if you had a human, there's nothing makes you happier than knowing that you have like it in source control, so you can just restore it. So there was no harm, no foul.
Okay, cool. Well, so I think the mental shift that we want to share with this episode is one, AI does a lot of things very similarly to humans, and a lot of the failings that we see in humans also happens in AI. In other words, if I were to summarize it, I think the mental shift is we need to assume, even when we're using AI, especially when we're using AI to do things for us, Murphy's Law. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong, and we need to set up intentional mechanisms around it. Now, mechanism is also a highly technical term. We'll just use a quick example. There are safety mechanisms. For example, if you're in a car, your job isn't just to drive as fast as you can. You also need to have brakes. And I think that's kind of how it is with AI. Your job isn't necessarily to make a lot of stuff, build a lot of things, because AI makes that a lot simpler now. Your job is to make sure that it does that properly, that it does that safely. It's almost like you're going to be an AI safety officer from here on out, because it's just going to be prevalent in our world more and more.
Yeah, that's really well said.
Okay, cool. So just to wrap it up, the challenge that we have for our busy listeners this week is to take about 5 minutes, look online, search for AI guardrails on something that you care about. Maybe you care about AI image generation, or maybe you care about vibe coding. Look up online, take about 5 minutes. What are some guardrails that AI has around those topics? And then spend another 5 to 10 minutes playing around with your AI tools, assuming you have those. And if not, there are a lot of free ones. And just test those guardrails. Are those guardrails being respected by the AI tools that you have available to you today? If not, we might need you to help build in those guardrails to make sure that AI does the right thing in the future.
Uh, I love that. Yeah. Um, put this in the middle somewhere, but I think there's a part of guardrails that we talk about a lot. Uh, that's for like safety and moderation and not breaking the law. So like, I think if you try to get your AI to like spit out musical lyrics or something, that's a copyright violation, and it will let you do that. And similar, if you try to make the AI do some nasty stuff, it won't let you do that as well. And you'll see that when you interact with it, it's like, I can't do that. And those are actually guardrails kicking in.
Cool. All right. Well, as always, we'd love to hear what you find. Share with us some of the guardrails you experiment with, and we might feature it, talk about it, maybe even experiment with it in real time. So that's all for today. Thanks for joining us. See you next time.
See you next time.
From the bubble tent.
From the bubble tent, live from the bubble